The last month actually have shown that the event industry is flipping upside down due to the corona situation. And it's a very interesting approach to take a deeper look on what has happened from our experience and what we also think will happen in the future to the event industry. And I want to reflect a little bit about that. If you don't know me yet, my name is Christoph. I'm the founder of Blackboard, a new work company where every employee can actually do what they really, really want, and we make a business out of it. And if you know me already, then thanks for watching again, and make sure you subscribe, you guys, to this channel, because we will keep sharing videos with these thoughts weekly. So why am I talking about the event industry? This is something that is really close to my heart because my family comes from an actually beer trading background. This is how I grew up. I was actually sorting beer bottles as a child and making my first money, and then I started my first company as a catering business because I always knew in my hometown Kiel, wherever there was something opening or let's say any kind of event, I could go up to the guy who was organizing the event and say, hey, do you need some stuff? And we help you. So this is how I made my first money. Then the events grew bigger. We organized parties with my first business partner, up to 5,000 people. Also with my current company Blackboard, I was running as a keynote speaker several events.
Als Steve Jobs damals auf die Bühne kam und sagte, there is one more thing, und Leute im Raum saßen und sagten, wow. Das Problem ist nur, viele Unternehmen landen in diesem Oh-Shit-Bereich, weil die linear weitermachen.
Then also we had events for clients where we had a couple of hundreds up to thousands of people training on certain tools that we were working on. When the corona situation hit us, like everyone else, we were reacting within like one weekend, 48 hours, that we've been canceling all our events from our side, also the keynotes that have been booked, because we knew it won't happen. So we can use the time to do something else. We started a streaming business then, but more importantly, we were invited to my hometown Kiel again to discuss with a whole group of people what will happen. When I look at that situation and also met my parents with that opportunity and discussed that a little bit.
This is how my parents communicate during times of Corona. My mom is always outside, my dad is inside, and this is how they usually communicate to like keep everything Corona conform. That is on YouTube. Yeah. Kann ich nicht sehen.
Möchtet ihr eine Colorado-Mischung mit haben?
Sehr gerne. Vielen Dank.
I thought the biggest mistake that we can do is to assume that we will replace what has been happening with events with anything digital or virtual. I could see that in the first weeks of the corona situation, that people were starting to say, oh, we call it hybrid events and we make part of it virtual and part of it on site. The problem with that is you have a totally different experience. An event is made for shared energy. People who meet, people who can chat, people who have music together, drink together, party together. And if we try to replace that with something virtual, then we do something very linear. It's like with BlackBerry and the iPhone.
$500 fully subsidized with a plan? I said, that is the most expensive phone in the world, and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard, which makes it not a very good email machine.
People were thinking that the soft keyboard should replace the actual keyboard from a BlackBerry, but that was never the idea. The iPhone was a complete new reinvention of the phone. And this is what needs to happen to the event industry. There will be no after the corona. We have to live with that situation. So when I look at that industry, and this just stands as an example for any other industry, restaurants, hotels, and so on. Of course people will go out. Of course people will meet other people. But the thing that we will need to do now is to try and experiment with new formats. So for example, my podcast partner Michael and I had a hangout because one of our partners canceled an event that was planned as a new work event. I was challenging it and saying, like, you cannot cancel anything that is called digital or virtual or new work. You have to provide something to the people, but you have to be bold. What you cannot do is just record a video and then send it out there and think that people take something from it. We did it with a live stream, to just experiment with it, a very long, like 4 to 5 hours live stream, like a live TV show. But I think the approaches from, for example, Tomorrowland that is coming up soon.
Nice to meet you.
Are you excited to perform at Tomorrowland?
Yeah, I mean, this is like a whole new world that we're living in.
They try to work with different cameras, with experiences that are a bit more than just a screen. We've also been experimenting with a music live stream that is different, that is not just one camera and music, but telling a story throughout the stream and using small cameras to take the people with us into the stream. So whenever you try to reinvent this, you really have to look at the elements of filmmaking, streaming and digital tools and where people consume it to get an idea of what you can do with it. Like in the old days, Apple looked at the phone in a totally different approach.
$500?
And to reinvent that needed a whole deconstruction of an event and then putting it together. The online marketing rock stars, they take a good approach. They had a 50,000 people event cancelled in May. 50,000 people were planned. I mean, their whole business just busted. But what they had is they had also a content production side, like we have. We have the podcast, we have the videos. So they were using their content part to deconstruct their event. So they put it in single parts and then provided certain keynotes as a recorded keynote that people definitely want to see. Certain keynote speakers as podcast guests. Certain sessions that are interesting as one-on-one sessions you can book, and so on and so forth. So if you start to deconstruct an event, then you have a bigger chance to provide people with an experience that is really valuable compared to, oh, let's make a hybrid event because we just need something like a parachute that will save us from falling if the event is cancelled. As I said, you cannot just film an event to make it nice. So this deconstruction approach combined with the idea of reinventing new things, I see it as a big, big opportunity for the whole creative industry. And if you as an event agency or hotel or restaurant or whatever, if you see yourself as a creative team, like we do at Blackboard, we don't see ourselves as a tech company or anything, we see us as a creative team, then you have a big opportunity coming out of this Corona crisis. It will take time, you will need money for that and air to breathe. So this is something you really have to take care of as an entrepreneur, to like see where do I get money from in between and how do I survive this time of experimenting. And there are tactics like lean startup and stuff like that, scaling down, keeping things running to keep that going, but that's a whole different story. These are my thoughts on the event industry, but more on like how you can make an opportunity out of a crisis like that. How can you see the chance that is behind that? Let's discuss it. And you can also have a look at Streamforce One, the company we have been building here. Out of that, we will link a video here from Streamforce, what we have been doing. This is still not over for us yet. We're still experimenting, but we invested in cameras, ideas, and a team, and we will keep going. There will be something interesting coming out of this situation here. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe.